Hey, sorry I haven't been keeping you guys up to date with what's going on. We got one heck of a run in my opinion. Our vacuum pump, I turned it on, I think it was last Saturday, and it didn't shut off till last night about 11:30. And I think in the process we've boiled about, I don't know, 1,200, 1,500 gallons of sap or so, I would guess. Kind of the way our system works, where it's always pumping in and then it's always coming into the holding tank. It's kind of hard to keep track of how much sap we use. So it's only best guess how much time we boil. So what the plan is today, we finally caught up a little bit last night. We're down to about 175 gallons or so in the storage tank. And it's about noon on Saturday, and it's not very warm out. The sun's on, and because of that controller hitting the probe, it turns the vacuum pump on. But I don't feel we're going to get a whole lot of sap today. If we do, it might be later in the day. But it's really hard to say up here on the hill because of how cold it is, how much the wind is blowing. So instead, the plan is I'm going to finish what I got in the tank. But in the meantime, before that, just because of how hard we've been running this rig, I'm going to give it a good scrubbing a little bit to get some of the niter and whatnot out. So, I'm going to show you guys that. So when we talk about niter and sugar sand, it's everything that builds up on the bottom of these pans. So this is the finishing pan. Got our flue pan, the middle pan, and the finishing pan. And they're divided, as you can see from the video. And this compartment here is where the syrup is actually made, and that's why it is so basically burned on. And actually, if you rub your finger on there, it's gritty feeling. It's like sandpaper. And this side's very smooth, and what it is because of the sugar boiling and basically burning on the bottom of the pan, caramelizing, it gets niter buildup. So this pan, these are actually two separate pans. I changed this lately this week. It's been every day I change the pan just because of how much we're boiling. I can boil about 300 to 400 gallons or so before I have to change the pan. Depends on how bad of a season it is for niter and sand. This year so far has been a very difficult time. We've gotten a lot worse. It's taking a lot to filter it out. So this pan hasn't been changed. This hasn't been cleaned since the beginning of the season. I did clean it after that January run we had. So it had buildup, and you can see where it's cleaned, and that's actually where I put the cleaning agent in. So what I use to clean is, as you can see, I fill it up with water up to where the line, I guess you could kind of call it a scum line, is, and then I use white distilled vinegar, and I use what's called SIP acid cleaner. If you're in the dairy industry or ever worked in the dairy industry, it's just the acid that we use in the dairy industry in the wash cycle of the pipeline and everything to prevent calcium buildups in the lines. And it works very good to get rid of niter. Anything real acid basically will clean, and that's why distilled vinegar works really well. And I just use the SIP acid cleaner to just kind of give it a kick. So what I'm going to do is, before I started this video, I was filling the flue pan. I'm going to fill this one up, probably to about here somewhere, with water. Throw the vinegar and acid to it. Then I'll start a small fire under all this to get it warmed up. And then I'll clean it, scrub it with some nylon brushes I have and a pad. And then by then the fire will be burned out. We'll drain it all out, hose it out, and we'll refill the evaporator. So when I empty this, though, I don't just empty it all into one container. I actually put it in multiple containers. So over here in my stainless bucket, this is what's out of the syrup pan. And as you see, there's a cone filter here. That's just filtering out that niter and whatnot as it goes out. And you can kind of see the line right there. That's niter. Niter sugar sand, pretty much the same thing. And then in that pail over there, that's got the middle pan fluid in it, and then this has the flue pan's sap in it. And same thing, all three of these, all three of them got filtered as they came out. And the reason it's getting dark is because of the low sugar content and how much it's boiling in that flue pan, caramelizing, and it's giving it color. So we're gonna have dark syrup this year, which a lot of people like. So, and actually, if you look down in there, see that black stuff right there? That's niter down there, and it's actually very flowy. See it? Now it disappeared. So it's very flowy, and like right now it's floating in the liquid. So that's where we're at. So I got the fire lit. I got the flue pan finally filled, and I wanted to show you guys this. You can already start to see in this pan, it's already starting to peel off like sheets. And what that is that's just the acid from the vinegar and the actual acid just working that stuff off the stainless steel. I just always find this part fascinating, watching it all start to peel off. And then we'll see how this one's doing, the real bad spot. Take the brush, see what happens. This one you can see is more chunky. Oh yeah, look at that. Just peels right off. Look at that, peels right off. So, probably, honestly, I could probably go longer on these pans, but I don't know, I'd rather not chance it and burn a pan, so I don't think there's much going on in the flue pan yet. Oh, we got some activity. Little bits of movement. This one isn't too bad. This one doesn't have the buildup like the other two did. So I'm going to go through, and you might be able to hear the fire running in the background. I'm going to put my gloves on and start scrubbing, I think. It looks like it's warm enough. It says it's about 100 degrees or so. That's plenty warm enough. Don't need to get burned in this process. So we got it all cleaned up. It's I got it all refilled. Whoops, that was the bucket. So there you go. So you can see the different shades definitely now. You know, this one it's pretty much clear in the flue pan. Come back here to the first syrup pan, it's more of a tan, and then the second syrup pan, or the finishing pan, it's very dark, which, like I said earlier in the video, because of all the niter this year and sugar sand, that makes a huge difference too as far as the color of it. But because the sugar, sorry about that, because the sugar content is so low, we've just had to boil a lot more than we usually do. So hopefully, they say your sweetest sap's in the beginning of the season, and I hope they're kind of wrong, and I hope this season's a little odd and it's going to get better, because right now we're only getting about 1.5%, which equates to about 70 and change gallons for a gallon of syrup. So that's a lot of boiling. So, but anyway, got her all done. It's all up and running. Got the fire crackling. There's a very light steam that I don't think you guys can see, but that'll be, pretty soon this will be running. And I don't think the sap's going to be running soon. I'm going to go up and see what's going on with that. But otherwise, it looks like I'll be here for a few more hours. Nothing major though. Y'all have a good day. Bye.